contrast with Mitch McConnell could not be starker. Supreme Court dictates the sovereignty of Kentucky, and the sovereignty of the state of Kentucky in 2004 had the voters that voted in favor of it, but recently a federal judge had knocked that down. So she is saying that the Supreme Court has voted on the sovereignty of the state. She is saying that she is in favor of gay marriage still being illegal in Kentucky, even though it's been struck down. Obama give her a fucking present. Here's a T-ball. It's right there on the fucking tee. Just hit it. She swung 50 fucking times and completely missed the goddamn thing. So, you know, that's some bullshit. Is she in favor of workplace safety regulations, food stamps, unions, the power of the strike, the Employee Free Choice Act? Is she in favor of unions, in favor of the strike? Is she in favor of getting money out of government? Is she in favor of the military-industrial complex and the war machine and Operation Unite? She's against mining regulations, right? The carbon emission regulations. She doesn't recognize global warming as a phenomenon. I mean, just say it. Global warming is fucking happening. Alison Lundergan Grimes, global warming is happening, okay? It is. So, she doesn't have an opinion about the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partner Act, which is like a NAFTA for the Pacific Ocean countries. She doesn't mention solar power, switchgrass, river power, hydroelectric. She doesn't mention any type of alternative energy. She just wants to keep digging, drill, baby, drill, right? So she's she's more fucking Sarah Palin than she is Ashley Judd. Drill, baby, drill. Alison Lundergan Grimes, she's sullied with coal dust, sludge, and slurry. So they don't, even George Bush mentioned switchblade grass. I can't believe Alison Lundergan Grimes actually said she's not for gay marriage. That's what it sounds like she says. And even at the very most, she's against gay marriage, or at the very least, she has not been forthcoming with her support. So, that's fucking bullshit. That's such fucking bullshit. She's not even, you know, the gay rights issue is the civil rights movement of our time. Do you believe that gay people are allowed to exist? Are they allowed to go into the business with anybody else just like black folks? Are black folks allowed to sit at the counter? Or we have to listen to the white racist owners, who they want to serve and who they don't want to serve? Right now, for the last 10 years, if you're gay and you walk into an establishment and the people says you gotta go, you gotta go. You have to leave. There is no protection for that type of discrimination in Kentucky. The federal judge knocked that shit down and says, you know, we're going to be allowing and recognizing gay marriages. So I don't know if anybody in Kentucky performs them, but if you come in from Massachusetts or from a state that legalizes gay marriage, we have to recognize that as a union that is together for tax purposes if you come into Kentucky from Massachusetts. So federal judge says that we have to listen to other people's laws and respect them. And so that basically knocked down the 2004 amendment and allowed gay marriage, but now she's fucking backtracking. I mean, this is just incredible. This is absolute fucking incredible. This is an issue that Greg Lichty can knock out of the park. Yeah, you have a right to be gay. Be gay, be proud. Let's talk about something else. Even the Pope is saying let's talk about something else. So we don't want to be like Russia. Iran, they say, haha, you know, only America has homosexuals. Nah, Iran, you got homosexuals too. 1 out of 10 of y'all are homosexuals. So if they ain't saying it, they looking at you, right? So don't pretend. And actually, a lot of these men, they get into wrestling and they want to murder and kill, right? And they get like horny and they get turned on by this type of shit. So that's like some weird homoeroticism. That's some weird shit. They get turned on by interaction with other people, but they get turned on by sadomasochistic eroticism. So they get turned on by hurting others. Maybe having a man who loves other men isn't a bad thing in this society. The world needs more love. And seriously, like, who really gives a shit about a man, you know? A man I'd be able to hit in a heartbeat, but, you know, basically you have to put up with a woman's bullshit. So, who gives a shit about a man, right? Titanic, let's save the women and children. Leave the fucking men there to perish. Who gives a shit? Alright, save the women and children first because men are expendable, and who gives a shit about a man? Greg Lichty should stand up for the gay rights, so should the other candidates. It's a modern-day civil rights movement. So, what does Alison Lundergan Grimes think about Medicare? She's against gay marriage? What an asshole. If she's against gay marriage, she's a corporate lawyer. She might not even be a Democrat. She might be a fucking Republican. Seriously, she might be worse than Mitch McConnell. She might get in there and be a worse war hawk and Operation Unite, Patriot Act, surveilling fucking piece of shit. Just sitting there throwing people into prisons for nonviolent offenses, staring at all of our emails, reading all of our fucking phone calls, and increasing the war machine by bombing more countries. She has said nothing opposed to those ideas. And very much, why would you not say something like that unless you're going to get and take the power and just, completely fuck everybody over? 2007, Louisville's headed for resegregation. Are you in favor of that? They haven't even talked about that. That wasn't even talked about in Louisville. Who gives a shit? Plessy versus Ferguson. Let's go with them. Separate was equal. We fucked up, Brown versus Board of Education was not right. Let's gut that shit out. Let's undo fucking Civil Rights Act, voting rights. So, I'm going to end this off with some words about Greg Lichty. Greg Lichty, he says that there's chronic unemployment for the young people in the country. We need to do something about that. There's a lot of smart kids in Kentucky, so we do need to help them out. Greg Lichty, he grew up on a turkey farm in southeastern Iowa, so he's from a really white state into another white state. He's a turkey farmer, so that makes me think of a peanut farmer, sort of like, Jimmy Carter. Now, here's what he was talking about, a speech, and so I'm just going to end on these words. I'm just going to read them verbatim. When I went out to the field with my dad, the turkeys would follow us around the field as we walked. When I had a large enough audience, perhaps 200 or 300 tom turkeys, I would turn and address them. So Greg Lichty is talking to a field of turkeys, right? And after every declaration, they would gobble in collective response. The louder I proclaimed, the louder they gobbled in a collective response. When I see the news reports of the campaigns for Kentucky's United States Senate seat, I immediately think back to those hundreds of turkeys gobbling louder and louder in appreciation of anything I had said, just as long as I yelled it loud enough. To get those turkeys to gobble louder and more enthusiastically, you just had to be loud and enthusiastic. For them, style was everything. Substance was nothing. That's not a discussion of our options and an argument over what will be the best approach. In all my years of public speaking, I have never had an audience as appreciative as that multitude of turkeys. However, as soon as I left childhood, I realized that whether it's you or your spouse sitting around the kitchen table talking about how your children or you and your partners at work talking about a business plan, what you need is a good discussion. One where the other person challenges you, forces you to articulate your answers, and brings you to the point of considering whether perhaps your position needs modification. This kind of argument that involves a genuine give and take. It requires deep listening and perhaps is the ultimate expression of respect. This kind of dialogue requires hard work. And it can at times make one uneasy. It can shake out one out of pleasant feelings of complacency. We as Kentuckians are in fact talking about our children in this election. In this election, we as Americans are in fact talking about the future of our business, that is our country. If we squander this opportunity to discuss our choices regarding the future would not be kind to us. Now more than ever, the Democratic Party needs a real primary with real competition and real political debates. I've been thinking more recently about Lincoln's eloquent phrase in the Gettysburg Address, government of the people, by the people, for the people. In recent decades, we have allowed some of them to alienate us from our government, that is our government of the people, through the calculus of division and fear. Small, well-funded minorities have seized the levers of government to serve their own cynical ends. To counter this, we the people must reinvigorate our civic institutions. We the people should not accept the idea that citizen participation in primaries is a costly anachronism we can no longer afford. We the people need to insist on a full discussion involving as many people as possible about how we want our elected representatives to serve us. In a period of great social and economic turmoil, we need more than ever a full embrace of the democratic process in which people make the decisions and drive the arguments and select the candidates. Not corporations, not parties, not money, but people. Alison Lundigan Grimes, pay attention to Greg Lichty. If you don't become more progressive, I'm voting for Greg Lichty. I'm going to just declare it now. I'm not impressed with Alison Lundigan Grimes. I think she's running to the right of Mitch McConnell on too many important issues. And Greg Lichty is a pure progressive. He wants what's best for everybody. He talks about all the issues, talks about everything that needs to be discussed, including all the issues Alison Lundigan Grimes mentions, plus a whole shit ton more. He's also not a liar. He's forthcoming with information. He's not reluctant. He's not talking like a fucking bureaucratic politician. He's putting his issues out there for anybody that wants to read and pay attention to what's going on. So anybody that knows what's going on, if you don't vote, Greg Lichty is also important to vote for because it shows if he gets 20% of the vote, it shows that there's a lot of liberal Democrats in Kentucky. So if she wants to get those voters in the fall she better appeal to him. So that voting for Greg Lichty will either get him elected or pull Alison closer to his policy positions, both of which are positive. I will be happy to pull the lever for Greg Lichty as things stand right now. I would like to see him get more exposure, get into debates, and be more, strong with his convictions and the issues he's talking about. But he's better. He's a better choice than Alison Lundergan Grimes. She's more politically savvy, and she's very much in position to take the damn thing. But she can be better. She can be better. She's good with the domestic violence. She's good with, the domestic violence issues and being allowed to vote and shit like that. But what else has she really done? The big issues she is missing: war, NSA, Patriot Act, police brutality, the prison rates, the war on drugs, Glass-Steagall Act, Employee Free Choice Act, solar power, wind power. She's ignoring a ton of fucking issues that's right in front of our faces, and she needs to address them, because if she doesn't say shit now, we have no idea where she stands on any of these positions. So let's have a real discussion, Kentucky, and vote for Greg Lichty if you're in the Democratic primary. So